So the month of March is over. It's time to move on to April, but are you forgetting something? People love to get the next month ready in their planner. There's something so exhilarating about writing on empty pages for the first time, yet some don't think to complete a monthly review on all of the things that they tracked and logged in the previous month. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to share with you guys how I do my monthly review and how you can implement it in your life. But first, if you're new to my channel, I hope you'll stick around and consider subscribing. I also hope that you will give me a thumbs up if you enjoy this video. So let's jump into this monthly review. If you want to see that, make sure to keep watching. All right, so y'all, it may not seem very important to go back and review the information that you wrote down from the previous month, but if you are truly interested in bettering yourself and optimizing your planner, you should highly consider creating a monthly review layout at the end of each monthly spread. So I'm going to walk you through that process. But first, what is a monthly review layout? That basically is going to allow you to summarize all of the important information and trackers and calendars and spreads from the previous month's layout so that you can use that to make sure that the next month is better than the previous month. And so unlike most monthly spreads, which are located at the beginning of the month, this page is nestled at the very end of the month, and it's often preceding the next month's cover page. It serves as a place to not only log the data from the last month, but also allows you to create a plan of changes that you're going to make for the next month. So let me show you how that looks, because of course at Fancy Plans Co., which is our shop, we have inserts for that. So I am going to show you how the monthly review looks. We also have weekly reviews. So if you're the type of person that wants to check in at the end of every week, we have something for you as well. So here is how our monthly review pages look. It has a page, it has a space for summary, accomplishments, challenges, personal, social, work, career, health, fitness, and your favorite moments. On the back, there is tons of additional space for you to write more notes. So that's what we're going to be using today to write this monthly review. And so y'all, I'm telling you, when you take the time to consider all of the information you wrote down the previous month, you can actually use that to improve next month. And that's what it's all about. We want to look at our failures, our successes, our favorite moments, our accomplishments, and we want to let that drive us to be able to make the next month even better than the current month was. So now that we have our monthly review pages out, I did keep March in my planner. So I am able to look at March and review things and see kind of how things went. And I'm going to figure out what I don't want to do for next month or what I want to continue doing so that I can make sure, again, the next month is awesome. So this is the first thing that you're going to do before you start writing in. I know you're super excited to get some stuff out on paper. I want you to stop and look through the last month's spreads. Take a good hard look at last month's so you could see what was going on. So let's set that to the side and move back into March. We're moving into April, and so we want to reflect on March. And so as you're looking through, you want to ask yourself some questions. Are you noticing any patterns? Do you see any problems you'd like to solve? Have you come across an amazing memory that you've already forgotten about? You want to look at those things. So take 15 to 20 minutes looking over the previous months. I want you to look at all those things I mentioned, look for things you didn't complete, look for successes, take note of the things you liked and the things you honestly didn't like. And so that's what I do first. I go through, I look at everything, I see what spreads weren't completed, and I ask myself why I wasn't motivated to write in my planner, what made me motivated to write in it, and I just reflect. So let's do that. So in looking at my monthly, I see that I did complete my full monthly spread. And for me, it's very important for me to do this because this is the hub of the planner. Every single month, I dump everything out here, which is pulled typically from my at a glance. So when I look at my at a glance, I'm going to come here for whatever that month is. I'm going to take that and transfer this here. And that's just major things. And then I'm also going to write in some other things that I don't want to forget on the monthly spread. So sometimes when I'm doing my review, I like to see if the month is blank. You know, I just ask myself why, what happened this month to make it to where I didn't want to write on the monthly spread. And so I find that when I do write on the the monthly spread, that makes the month even better because again, you're getting it all out. You can see it all at a glance and you know what your focus is for the month. And then I again start digging deeper in the weeks and I look at things and I see what's checked off, what's not checked off. And sometimes things have been completed, but I haven't checked them off. Why was that the case? And so again, I'm just skimming through. I see some moments. Addison had picture day. She had pajama day at school. So that's why it's so important for me to write everything down. And so that just has been helping me over the years to be able to stay on track, one, and then also being able to reflect back on memories. Sometimes you forget. And so if you write it down, of course, you'll be able to see what some of those memories were. If you have a bad memory like me, when I have it written down, I remember, and then that just helps me to reflect on how much of a good time we had and just what we did that month. We also had something very special arrive at our home for our backyard, which we've been using quite a bit. If you've seen Instagram, you know what that is. And so that was a moment. I've also been able to accomplish lots of meal planning and staying on track with that. I started back on keto. So as you're looking at these spreads, you're really starting to see things are popping out to you. And so you're like, oh yeah, I remember when we did that. Or, you know, this was such a fun thing that we did. So again, reflect back on the previous month so you can kind of see where you were, how things went. I also implemented habits this month, which have been going pretty well. It could be better. So I know that that's something that I started to do this month via these habit tracker notepads. And then we also have stickers that go on the habit trackers. So that way I could have a fun way of being able to track habits. So those are available in the shop as well. All of this is available in the shop, by the way. And so that is the first part of the process. You just want to see what happened last month, take a mental note of it, and then we're going to see how we can improve upon that for the next month. So that is step one in the process. All right, so once you've done your monthly overview, we're going to go ahead and set this to the side, and we're going to move on to jotting some things down for the actual monthly review. And so the first thing that you want to do when it comes to that is you want to do a general overview. And so there is a place here for summary. You're kind of logging in, you know, on a high level, how things went. And so your general check-in is a good starting point when determining your current situation. So you're going to keep it short and detailed. You can even do like one-word answers just to give yourself an overview or a summary of that month. So again, this is for March. So we're going to write in March. And this is 2021. Okay, so summarize your month. And so that's for me very easy. And of course, when you have the monthly here, because what I'm going to do afterwards is I'm going to purge this month out. The month of March needs to be purged and added to my purge planner. I keep all of my inserts for a year and then I purge them at the end of the year. So again, you're going to use this as a foundation to be able to write in that summary based on what you saw that you were able to accomplish. And then you're going to use it also for the other sections in this insert. So I'm going to go ahead and write in my summary. And some questions that you can ask yourself is, what has been my overriding emotion this month? You can sum your work up in one word. What were you most proud of this month? What challenged you the most? Of course, we have other sections for certain things. One thing that you've learned this month. What was your favorite experience, favorite event? So those are some of the questions that you're going to ask yourself when filling out this review. So summary can include some of those things, or you can outline those things or list those things in these other sections. But there's so many other questions and we'll get to that in a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and write in my summary based on what I saw that we were able to accomplish this month. Some events, just some highlights. I'm just going to write here in the summary portion. All right, so that is my summary. I talked a little bit about my overall feelings, how I felt, what was going on, just a little snippet of what was going on work-wise, how the kids are doing, just how I felt, you know, about the family, and then also my work. And overall, things went great for us this month. Of course, you know, every month is not going to be perfect. You're going to have lots of challenges, which we did. You're also going to have some wins, and that's important to note as well. So once your summary is done, you're ready to drill down onto these other sections. And again, you're going to use your planner to do that. And because I wrote everything down on the month, I was able able to see some things that we did that maybe I may have normally forgotten about. And so I'm just gonna keep on flipping back and forth through it just to look at those highlights and figure out what I wanna write here, so that way this is gonna be great at the end of the year to be able to take all 12 months of just the monthly review and reflect back, because everything's gonna be here. You'll be able to see it all kind of in one little section, as opposed to having to flip through every single month of weeklies in your planner. So the first thing that we're going to do is consider our month in terms of emotional and mental health, which is this section here, health and fitness. This is the most important factor of any kind of life review, and it should be prioritized above career, etc. When you consider what your overriding emotion was for the past month, it should give you a good idea of if you're doing okay, or whether it could be time to implement some change. So be 100% honest about how you felt this month and try to identify triggers for any negativity, okay? So some questions you can ask yourself is, have I felt more stressed than not stressed this month? Have there been any times when I felt a sense of overwhelm? Has anything happened that could have had an effect on my mental health? And have I felt burnout, or am I close to it? Have I felt truly happy this month? And do you need some therapy? Okay. And so those are some things that you can consider when you are writing in this section. Now, I know that the section is not as big for health and fitness. I tried to fit everything all on one page, but just remember that you have this page here on the back. So what I would do is just write a line here and then continue those sections on the other side. And so again, we're going to ask ourselves these questions. I'm going to do that mentally. I'm going to write in my health and fitness for the month of March. So, did I feel stressed? So again, remember, you don't have to write long sentences. That is pretty much done in the review, which you don't have to do that there as well, but you can just use one word, stressed or not stressed. And I'm gonna put I wasn't stressed. Okay, have you had any times where you felt a sense of overwhelm? Yes, slightly. I'm sure we all have, right? This is because we had a pretty huge month for the shop. You know, we launched a sticker book. We just had so much going on, so that can contribute to having a sense of overwhelm, and that's okay. But you want to write that down so you can see, hey, you know, what do I want to change for next month to not feel as overwhelmed as I felt in March. Nothing really happened that affected my mental health. I didn't really feel any burnout. And yes, it's been a pretty happy month. You know, nothing really happened this month to affect or imbalance me in any sort of mental way. Okay, so we did that for mental health. Now let's talk about fitness, because that's a whole issue for me. So when it came to fitness, I implemented keto back into my life again. Again. I want to put again because y'all know how I be, but it's been a lot of hit or miss. It's been hard to stay on track. And I'm gonna write why, so that way next month I can make sure I try to do better. And I think one of those reasons is because I had family in town, and it seemed like a lot was going on that I just couldn't focus the way I wanted to focus. I allowed myself to cheat too much, and although I do feel good about how things went, I want to make sure that I do better for next time and anticipate those events that are coming up by looking at the calendar. I know things that are coming up that could throw me off, and I want to make sure that I'm prepared for those. And then also I need to work on working out more. I've been doing pretty decent with my eating, and what's been helping me with that is menu planning. And you guys know I already menu plan, but I implemented these new menu planning notepads. So these are from our menu planning notepad, and those have been able to really help me to write in what I was having for the week. Let me show you the previous. And then what I would do is I would put the carbs there because I'm trying to stay around 20 to 21 carbs. And that's been really helping me to not have to manage a whole menu planning or fitness planning set of inserts, which I do have a section here, but sometimes that was hit or miss for me. It was overwhelming. So I find that just popping this in, so as you can see for this current week, in the first week of April, well, the end of March, this is going to be April, yeah. I've already started writing them in. I included the end of March, first week of April in the April inserts. So I went ahead and wrote in the menu. And again, that's been really, really helping me to just have it popped right here in my planner and be able to track those just on a small scale, as opposed to having a whole week that can seem intimidating. So again, we're taking note of the things that have helped. And I think that that is probably one thing that helped me. It's just a simple thing, but just being able to see it right here on my planner in my week. I can see what I'm having. I menu planned, I bought everything. I am gonna start doing some meal prep. So maybe stay tuned for that. I'll try to implement that in my channel some sort of way. But I think this was a big contributing factor. And so this notepad is one of my favorite notepads. It comes with 50 sheets, and so all I literally do is pull some off and stick it in the back of my planner. And then as the week comes along, I pull this out and I go ahead and sit down on my Sunday. I plan out my meal plans for the week and what I'm going to eat. And then I use our shopping list inserts here to go ahead and write in my grocery plan. I stick it in here as well, and then that way I'm ready to go. So this has been very essential for me when it comes to menu planning, and I think that's been the success of why I've been able to pretty much stay on track when it comes to eating. I just need to figure out a plan for working out. That's been my toughest point when it comes to this whole journey I'm on. And so that's why it's important to do this monthly review, so that way you can see, hey, you know, what can I change? How can I get motivated for next month? So that way I'm not looking back on that month and saying the same thing. And so write all that in here. And again, write it on the back if you need some additional space. All right, so we have tackled health and fitness. We know what happened in March. We can do better for April, okay? So next thing you want to do is consider your career month. Keeping your career goals and work fulfillment in check is very important, okay? Given that most people's career take a lot of their time and energy. So it makes it a huge part of everyone's life. Now, I do work from home. As you guys know, we have a shop called Fancy Plans Co. I have a brand called AtHomeWithQuita, which has lots of moving parts. So although everyone's work looks different from that for them, it is still important to make sure that you're keeping on track with those goals and that you're checking in to see what's going on with that part of your life as well. So by reviewing it, you can make sure that you make headway with your goals and ambitions and ensure that what you're working towards is in alignment with your values and life purpose. So that's very important. So some questions that you can ask yourself is, do I overall enjoy the work I carry out? Now that's a big one, right? Because some people don't enjoy their work. And that's okay, but we need to find what you enjoy, okay? And that's what I feel like I found. Some people just don't seem to ever find that, which is okay. You know, you got to do what you got to do. But if you can work towards finding what you enjoy, let's work towards that. What parts of work bring me joy? So what parts of it, you know, maybe you don't enjoy the whole thing, but can we focus on what parts of it do bring you joy? Also, am I happy that I've done my best at work this month? That's very important as well, because you want to make sure that you're doing your best. Even if you don't like what you're doing, you should still be doing your best. Were there any tasks where I wasn't happy with the way I carried them out? Do I feel fulfilled with the work that I do? What did I do this month to work towards my goals? So those are very important things. So again, we're going to use our spread here, our monthly planner. So I'm going to move my catch-all to the side and we're going to bring out my work planner. You guys know I use a mini size planner. This is my business and social media planner. By the way, in the shop, I have sectioned out a portion of the shop to have a professional collection of items that you can use to build your work planner. You can do a separate monthly review for your work planner if you want, but I find having it all on one page and one planner, again, I pull out the previous months, I stick this at the end. I like it that way. So that way I can see at a high level every single part of my life. And so this is very important to me. And so what I was saying is that that collection is going to have everything you need to be able to build your work planner. I like having a separate work planner because I feel like those are two separate parts of my life. I don't want them to be blurred. And when I turn off my work, I want to go into my personal planner and be focused on personal. So what I do when it comes to that part of this process is pretty much going to be the same thing. I'm going to look in my calendar and I'm going to see, what did I do this month? I'm going to look and see if there was any big new releases, if there's anything like really important that I want to highlight. I'm just going to look through the spreads for the month on a monthly level and on a weekly level. Again, I'm also looking for hit or misses. Did I write in a lot? did I not, and why didn't I? Because I want to see what motivated me and what didn't motivate me. Why did I use certain inserts over other inserts? I see that I popped in a daily work planner this past week. These are pretty new to our shop. These are awesome, especially if you don't want a full weekly spread. You can just pop in one of these, and that way you'll have all of your daily tasks all on one page. So these are awesome, and that's how the back looks as well. So I popped this in as well. And so again, you're just skimming through just to see what you really want to highlight and draw your attention to when you look back on this, and just in seeing how you can make improvements for next month. So as you can see, I already started my planning for next month. I was just so excited to dig into this. I used our new functional pastel sticker book for both spreads and a little washi, and I love how it turned out. So I'm starting the month off on a good note. So let's go ahead and fill in our work and career by using those questions that I just mentioned for March. So work career, I know we launched the sticker book. Again, you can use one word. You don't have to use complete sentences. This is just for you. Okay, I know I had a collab call for a really big collab coming up that I'm really excited about. And it's going to be in June. I felt like I completed my goals this month, and we worked through a lot of things. Our queue was very, oh, let me get y'all on camera. Our queue was very, there was a lot. Okay, let's just say that. So we shipped out probably this month, let's see, in this past week we shipped out 200 orders between Monday and Wednesday. So I would say maybe 500 to 600 orders. We're trying to clear our queue. We are almost there. That is a big goal for me. It's always a goal. I want to always stay on top of things, and because we're so busy, sometimes that is difficult. But I feel like this month we did so good when it came to that. All right, again, make sure you're referring to your questions. Maybe write the questions down that I've been mentioning to you guys so you can use that as a guide. And so other than that, and work career, let's see. Oh, I became an affiliate, or I started working with Daily Harvest, which was on my bucket list for work. And also, you know, I had that written down for a long time that I wanted to work with them in some way. And so when they reached out, I was like, yes, yes. So we got to definitely write that in. So started working with Daily Harvest. Okay. And also, we started a new creative team, which is formerly the PR team. So now there's lots of more perks, including an affiliate program. So we implemented an affiliate program. We did a lot this month. So this is going to be awesome to look back on. This is probably one of the months where we did a lot this month in terms of launches and launching new programs and, you know, creative team, working with a new company, all of that stuff. This was an amazing month. And then I also did a live with Darian Plans, which was really fun. And I want to highlight that because that's important to me. Okay, so that's pretty much everything that I did work and career wise. All right, so now we have to look at our social life. So your social life is going to encompass your relationships, your family, your friends, your colleagues. So how much social interaction you've taken part in, and checking in to assess the quality of your relationships. Having fulfilling relationships is super important. As you guys know, it's important for our personal happiness. And here we can take the time to really explore whether we're happy with our relationships and what we can do if we're not as social as we want to be, which is sometimes how I feel. I'm very much an introvert. I like my own personal space. I have a small network of friends, and I am okay with that. I'm not a social butterfly. I never have professed to be. And so but I still want to check in and make sure that I'm cultivating those friendships and that everything is on track with that too. That's an important part of your life. All of these things are work, health, fitness, career, personal, social development. All of this contributes towards a happy life and a better well-being. And so some questions you can ask yourself is, have I made time for myself to socialize this month? That is a huge one for me because we're all in this whole unique situation of still being in a pandemic. So it's hard to sometimes find a way to reach out to people without, of course, imposing on, not being healthy. Of course, we want to social distance and do all of that stuff. So we want to make sure that we're doing it in a safe way. So it's been very challenging for us, but that's a question that you want to ask yourself, because there are still ways that you can do that. Who have I been closest to this month? Who haven't I been as close to this month? How have I spent quality time with my family, both your immediate family and your extended family? Has there been a time when I've given support to a loved one? What was my favorite social event this month and why? And am I happy that I've made enough time to be sociable? That's an interesting question, right? Because you've done all this social stuff this month, but has that made you happier? That's deep, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and start writing in some of that stuff in your social and your personal. Now, every single month is not going to look like this. Some month I'm just not going to have the space. It's going to have been a lot going on, and I'm going to need to go into that back page. So let's put aside work in professional and let's get back into this planner, because this is where I house all of that information. Okay, so let's go ahead and start reflecting on those questions and see how we want to structure this thing. So when I ask myself the first question, what are my thoughts? How have I made time to socialize this month? I think for me, it's been a lot of Zooms. And I think that's probably a lot of people, again, with the one word. You don't have to write a whole sentence. So I'm just going to sum it up in Zoom. I think Zoom has been the word of the year, right? In terms of socialization, all of us have been logging onto Zooms a lot more than we would normally have. I don't think I even knew what Zoom was prior to that. So I do Zooms with my religious meetings and I socialize there with my friends. And then also I do lots of Zooms for business. We have a live Q&A that we do every month for our Patreon. So I'm able to see people in the planner community, and I think I've been fulfilled in that way. And I think that's been a great process, I think. So I wouldn't say that there needs to be any improvements when it comes to that. I feel like for what we can do, being in this pandemic, I've been able to do. I also did have a couple of friends over this month, so that was really nice. So I'm gonna write that in. Came over for dinner. Then I also had a friend come in town. He got stuck here. His wife wasn't able to be here, but he spent like 3 or 4 days with us, and that was so nice because him and my husband are nutcases, and so that was very nice. For my husband, he needed that. And he stayed for the memorial, which is our commemorating the death of Jesus Christ. So for me, I have small handwriting or big handwriting depending on the situation. So I'm able to fit pretty much everything in the box. But again, you may want to have a different size. This comes in different sizes. This is half letter if you write a lot. Or you can, again, flip over to the back and pop in an additional sheet if you need to. So you can have 2 of these and just make sure you keep the month the same. So take note of that as well. So I'm not going to write who I've been closest to this month because I feel like all of my friendships are pretty evenly distributed. I don't have a best friend. I know that some people do, and that's okay. I don't. I treat all of my friends the same. I have a small group of friends, and so they're all kind of my best friends. I don't prefer one person over the other, so I'm not gonna really answer that question because I just feel like my friends, if they're my friends and I hang with them, that's who I'm closest to. Who haven't I been as close to this month? Not really. I don't really see a need for that question for me either, because I do a pretty decent job in cultivating and maintaining my friendships with those who I'm close to. Have I spent quality time with family? That's been a sore spot for me. I did talk to my grandmother and my sisters and brothers, and we're supposed to get together this month of April. And I don't have that much family here that I'm really close to, besides my immediate family, who I'm, of course, always going to be close to. We live here in the same house. And then my extended family through like my sister-in-law, brother-in-law, my mother and father-in-law, we're always close, you know what I mean? And so if I think about that question, I can say yes. I'm going to say yes. I feel like I have, but I can always be improved. I spent a lot of time with my sister-in-law, especially this month. They came over the other day. We had wine, which is always needed, especially when you have kids. And so we've grown very close over the years. And so that's, yeah, I definitely want to write that in, because this was probably a month where we spent a lot of time together. Our kids are getting older. We have a lot to talk about, okay? So the next question is, has there been time where I've given support to a loved one? Yes, there has. I don't feel the need to write that in. There's no moment that I want to talk about or reflect on. What was my favorite social event this month and why? Now, I do have a favorite moment section down here, socially and personal. My favorite event was a memorial. And that is our most important event of the year, where we sit and we reflect on the sacrifice that Jesus made, which is the most and ultimate sacrifice anybody ever made. And so that's always a highlight of the month. So personal and social, because again, when you write all this in, you still want to look at it and see, you know, hey, what was I able to accomplish? What did I do? How did things go? You're still going to look back on this in the moment to see, you know, and reflect on these thoughts that you've written out. And then, am I happy that I've made enough effort to be social? I'm not. I feel like, although I just talked to you guys about how I felt and I felt really good about this month, I want to do better. And so I'm going to make time to connect with other people that maybe I don't usually connect with, to expand my friendship base just a little bit more. I think that's always important. And I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing. Of course, you have those that you're really connected to just naturally, but I want to step out of my comfort zone and get to know more people. And I want to call more of the friends to check on them for my religious meetings to make sure everybody's okay. You know, everybody deals with the pandemic differently. And we want to check in with those and make sure that mentally they're okay. All right, so we've completed our personal, social, work, career, and our health and fitness sections. So now we want to talk about accomplishments and challenges. So when it comes to accomplishments, again, I'm just going to write a brief little thing or words on what I felt like I accomplished, and some of that might be here, but I want to see it all here in my accomplishments section. So first and foremost, again, we launched a sticker book. That was super important, because that's been in the works for a long time, and I'm finally happy that it's released, and I'm ready to work on future designs. So launch a sticker book. I also started a declutter challenge. If you guys don't know, I'm going to be bringing it to YouTube. I already talked about it on Instagram. I have a whole plan of action for the month of April in terms of videos. I showed you guys really briefly in my work and social media planner. I don't know if you saw my beautiful spread. I think it's really beautiful because it's from the new sticker book. And I went ahead and wrote in all my video ideas. So this is everything that I'm planning on filming for the month of April, and Friday is going to be a home day. And for, you know, the duration of the cleaning and decluttering challenge, I am going to be filming those videos and uploading them on Friday. I'll probably film on Thursday and upload on Friday. So that is the plan. We'll see where work takes me, because I told you guys we were able to clear a lot of the queue out. And so because of that, it's giving me a little bit more free time. And so I'm going to put that here, that I started a declutter challenge. Everybody's doing their spring cleaning. And the declutter challenge I'm doing is from a bowl full of lemons. I love her. You can do it too. They've already started, so I'm just going to pick up where they started, which is in the laundry room. So we also, what else did I do this month? I announced my second home management stationery box. Which is going to be floral themed. And I started keto again. All right, so those are all of my accomplishments that I can think of for this month, and my challenges. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, my challenges. One of my challenges, which I'm constantly trying to work on, is that I work a lot. I work more than I should. Late hours. So that equals less time for the family. I also worked on, or started this month, just being more aware of my spiritual needs and making sure that I'm on track with all of my studies. And it's always been a challenge for me, just because making the time and then also keeping focus and not getting distracted. And so I guess I could say that's a challenge, although I felt better about it this month. There's a lot that we have to study for. We have several meetings during the week, and so it's a lot, you know, and sometimes I don't always get to do what I want to do on a daily basis. But overall, I think I stayed pretty much prepared, but I want to make sure that I distribute that over the week a little bit better. So I'm just going to say spiritual needs. I'm sure that says needs. I didn't mean that M. That should be an N. Steady habits. Okay. And then teenager challenges, y'all. If I'm being honest with y'all. This month of March was very emotional because kids are just, you know, kids. And so we had some challenges there as well. So now that we have that, let's write in our favorite moments. Okay, so favorite moments. Again, since we have everything written on our calendar, I can pretty much go here and see what we did for March. And I can use that to help me to write it in. So memorial, again, was my highlight. You guys know that from my personal social section. So the memorial. We also got a hot tub, and y'all, it's been life-changing. And that arrived this month. And we've been using it, not as much as we want to, but we have been using it. So that was a highlight. Also, what else was a highlight? I did spend some time with my friends, and let's see. I haven't had friends over in a minute. So those were, and then when my husband's friend came in town, we had a really good time. Just hanging out with him. And I think that's pretty much it in terms of my favorite moments. I'm surprised I didn't go to the backside, but again, that's just this month. Next month could be a completely different case. Plus, I think for the purposes of this video, I just wanted you to see everything all on one page. So y'all, now that I see it all, I want to sit here and I want to look at it, and I want to use this also in planning out my next month. Now, I showed you guys that I have all of these things written in terms of, you know, the next month's spread. I did go ahead and write it in, you know, some of the major things that I know are happening, but I still want to go back in and dig even deeper to use this to figure out how I can make this month even better. And so I'm going to specifically be looking at the challenges. How can I make sure that some of these things are improved for April? I'm also going to be looking at my accomplishments, and I'm going to use that to drive me as a motivating source to know that, hey girl, you did really good. So you want to keep the train moving forward and make sure that you have goals, and you want to be able to check those off for next month so that you can feel the same way that you felt this month. I also want to look at all of these categories over here to make sure that I'm still cultivating friendships. I may have, you know, someone over again, possibly on a small scale. I think we are doing that this month. Actually, we're having some friends over this Friday, so that'll probably go into April's personal social. And then I want to see work-wise, what are some goals I want to make sure I am writing down and being able to stay on track with for work. Health and fitness, we already know our struggles. What can we do to make April better? So that is how I do my monthly review, you guys. And again, because you have this written down for the previous month, you're going to keep this in your planner and look at it to fill in April. You're going to sit here, you're going to plan out your month. You're going to use this as a motivating source to make sure that you change the things you want to change. And so that is it for the monthly review, guys. I really enjoyed this process. I think I'm going to start doing these at the end of every month. So comment below and let me know if this is something you want to do together. Do you want to talk through this process? Maybe I'll do a live and we can do it live together. I don't know. Sky's the limit, you guys. So I'm more than happy to do that because I really enjoyed this process and sitting down with you guys today to figure out how March went and to see how I can make April even better. And so again, these are available in the shop. If you're interested, go ahead and grab you a set of these so that way you can do the same thing. And I think this is going to help you to be able to be more goal oriented and just to get your thoughts out to see how things went the previous months, and again, how to make sure that April is phenomenal. That's what we want, right? So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you stopping by my channel today. Hopefully you enjoyed this video so much so that you'll give me a thumbs up, you'll consider subscribing to my channel, and you guys will come back by and catch another video, in which case I'll see you then.